If you are like me and you are terminally on the internet, you saw that whole debacle with Euphoria and their darkest foundation. And I actually was so embarrassed that I could feel my whole body caving in on itself. It's always been an issue in terms of brands catering towards those with a deeper complexion, but Made by Mitchell is showing us how it is done, and I have to say, super impressive. This is a brand that has only been around for 3 years. It's independently owned, so it's not like they have the capital of all of these bigger brands, but they are showing us how to do it. Let's discuss their latest launch, but before I do that, massive thank you to Makeup on Your Radar too. I stole their pictures. Let's discuss. If you know anything about Made by Mitchell, you'll probably know that the curve cases that he came out with a couple of months ago are extremely popular. They have been all over TikTok and social media in general. And he originally came out with, I want to say 2 or 3. However, these are part of their shade extensions. So he came out with both a deeper and a lighter one, which is very, very exciting. These are actually available right now for $39. I want to start talking about the deeper one first before we get on to the lighter one. So there's 4 bronzers and there's 4 blushers as part of this. Now, if you look at this initially, you'll kind of go, wait, there's black shades. Are we doing another Euphoria? No. And I think what's very important is you go over to, say, Made by Mitchell on TikTok or Instagram and have a little look at the videos on this, because you really see that he's picked up on the undertones. There's like olive undertones, there's like more blue undertones, there's more red undertones. This is done really, really well. And you can see it the best when it's actually like swatched on the skin. So this is legitimately pretty darn exciting. But as I said, he's also come out with a lighter one as well. So there's the 4 shades that are more for bronzers. I feel like this was made for me. It's pretty light. And there's, of course, 4 blushes as well. And I think you can really see it here when you see all 5 of them together, just how much deeper this new one is next to the deepest one. And I was originally quite impressed with the deep one that they came out with. I was like, okay, that's quite inclusive. And then you look at this new one and you're like, wow, this was literally a case of like, hold my beer, I'm going to show you how to do inclusivity. And I have to say, kudos to a newer brand that is essentially indie doing this. That is very, very commendable. Now, the one thing that I do want to say about this, and I hope that this is something that they are thinking of, I suspect that they probably are, I feel like there's probably going to be certain shades that you're going to hit pan on a little bit quicker. And rather than going off and buying a whole brand new curve case, which is wasteful and unnecessary, I would hope that they would start thinking about how to maybe give you some like refills. Like, I think that would be quite smart. But I suspect that they're probably thinking of that. Like, there's no way that I'm the first person that thought of that. And of course, the other thing that I'm thinking of is this is perfect for an MUA. If you get all 5 of those, you're pretty much sorted. Like, I love, love, love the variations of this. I think it's done really, really well. As I said, you really have to see it swatched. Unfortunately, I don't have any pictures of that right now, but you have to see it like swatched and kind of moving in the arm to really see what the undertones are. And you can kind of see it there to some extent, like some of the greeny, olivey undertones. It's hard to detect there. As I said, you kind of need to see it in a very specific video to see what the story is, but I feel like it's done quite well. I did, however, see a couple of people being really confused about this and kind of going, these are black, these are black. And I think they were kind of thinking of the whole Euphoria thing. They aren't actually all black. These do have legitimate undertones. As I said, you can't see it that well here. You can see one has like more of a blue undertone, one has more of like a red undertone, and one has more of like an olivey undertone. If you really have a look at it, it's hard to see on first glance. I feel like this is one of those ones that you'd need to almost interact with to see it. And I think if you're showing it on a paler skin tone, it's a little bit more difficult to see. But this is needed. Like, this sort of stuff is definitely needed in terms of like catering towards different skin tones and undertones. I think it's done really well. It's not wildly expensive. $39 for 8 pieces in that. Like, that's like $4 something each. That's not bad at all. Anyways, let me know down below what you guys think. As I said, have a little look at Made by Mitchell's Instagram or TikTok to actually see this in action, and it'll give you much more of a clear idea as to what this is like. But let me know down below what you guys think, because I am interested as always.